Hello, BookTube. Believe it or not, despite the fact that it's Sunday, I have mail. I have a little bit of mail that has accumulated. I've been fending off plaintive emails all day from my WeHo crew, wanting to know why I didn't go to Coachella this year. And I had to tell them I forewent Coachella in order to spend time with my imaginary BookTube friends. And they all had never heard of BookTube, of course, because they've never read a book. The only time they've ever used a book. This is a nice, stable platform to do rails of cocaine. So they said, what is BookTube? Who are they? Are they the next cool thing? And I said, once you get to know them, you'll realize that no, they are most certainly not the next cool thing. They're the biggest group of unreconstructed nerds you've ever seen in your life. But it's a beautiful day. It's chillier than I want it to be. It's chillier than I want it to be. It rained last night, and in the wake of that, the temperature is dipping just a bit. I am ready now. I was fainted out by the weather a little while ago, and I'm now ready for warm days and cool nights for at least a few weeks. And instead, this is a cool day. But we still have mail. We have a couple of periodicals and a couple of books, one of which is not in a package. The periodicals are great. They are hitting for the home team. The first one is the Bedford Times-Press in Bedford, Iowa, which is a local newspaper in Taylor County, and this issue has an inside spread on all of the youthful athletes. And, I love the fact that they're getting their pictures in the paper in full color. This is really good work. Who is this? Who does this? Is it Jason Bucher who actually does the photos? They're terrific. I love that fact because all these kids are going to look back on these days as special. They're going to look back on these days with warm affection. The only thing that bothers me about the pictures is that so often they're catching the kids looking terrible because they're in the middle of such a huge exertion. But that's still local. That's still Bulldog sports. The only thing in the Bedford Times-Press that is not local is me. And that is, I have a column, my book column, which runs every week in the Bedford Times-Press. So for the low cost of subscription, you will get a whole bunch of local news that you don't really need. I mean, you don't really need to know what the Bulldogs are up to, but you will also get my book column, suitable for cutting out and framing. And that happens every week. They give me a generous amount of space. I bet if I asked for this whole page, I would get it. I bet I would. Or they'd make some sort of arrangement. What have we got? What's this one here? Recently, a post on Reddit was brought to my attention by several people who apparently think I have too much time on my hands. Like most discussion board style social media, Reddit is basically designed to be a sinkhole for your free time, snagging your attention with nonsense and then holding it with hour after hour of outraged strangers responding to the original nonsense. Reddit isn't particularly monitored, so some of that outrage can be fairly raw. Luckily, the post people were sending me dealt with the bookish world, which can sometimes be a bit more civilized. And in this case, a Reddit user going under the handle of u/t_4v asked a fairly innocuous question out into the ether. What are some of the things you see in book reviews that annoy you? You give me a tee up like that, I'm going to knock it straight onto the fairway, and I did. My column is always, as the kids used to say, a gas. So that was the Bedford Times-Press. That comes every week. Feel free to tootle on over to their website and subscribe. And if you don't live in Taylor County and you don't care whether or not clocks went up in the new municipal center, and you're only subscribing for my column, feel free to drop my editor a note to that effect. That never hurts. That never hurts, no matter what. Same thing is true with this next periodical. This is the Martha's Vineyard Gazette. Broadsheet newspaper from the island of Martha's Vineyard that has, everybody always flips it over right away to look at the columns in the back, although not in this issue. This particular issue is sad. A day that, comes for us all, but still, Everett Poole died. And he was the heart and soul of Menemsha. He was, I haven't actually read, there's a front page article, he deserves it. I'm sure that there will be reflections inside the paper that I haven't looked at yet. And I'm sure, based on previous newspaper profiles that I've seen of him, I feel sure that they will use the phrase man of few words. I've never understood that. Everett Poole never shut up, but I guess he had the demeanor of a man of few words. He could be very talkative in a very wonderful way. It's a sad day that he died, but I'm sure that he was in his 90s. He was 91. So that's a shame. But the The happier days for the Vineyard Gazette include yours truly, because I write their book reviews. I write the Vineyard Bookshelf, is the book reviews feature that shows up whenever there's a book to review. And I'm often in it. I'm not in this issue, but that I view that as kind of a good thing. I'm not sure that I would have wanted to be in the issue that is all about Everett Poole dying. That is a sad issue. But I will be in many issues coming up. The season is pepping up. And the same thing is true for the Vineyard Gazette that is true for the Bedford Times Press. In both cases, they are local newspapers. In fact, in a way, the Vineyard Gazette, despite the fact that that Martha's Vineyard has far more millionaires and billionaires in its readership than Taylor County does, in its way, the Vineyard Gazette is far more local newspaper. Because my books column, my Ex Libris book column, which I have not written in 45 years, is not local. I'm not just talking about Iowa stuff. I'm talking about books. I don't believe there's any such thing as a local reader, and so I don't do that. And I was given a free hand not to write a column like that, which is why my column is suitable for your own local newspaper. If you're on PTA or the softball team or whatever, with the editor of that paper, kindly put a word in their pink and shell-like ear about a column that's going to begging. A column that would make the local rag far more interesting. And also increase the subscriber count. Might want to drop that in the conversation as well. The Vineyard Gazette is even more local than the Bedford Times Press because the editorial direction here for the paper is entirely local. So even the Vineyard Bookshelf, the books that I review have to be Vineyard specific somehow. Either, mostly, they're about the vineyard or set on the vineyard, or they're by an author who lives on the vineyard and is, a big enough name so that no matter what they write about, we're going to review it. I love that when that happens. That's always a pleasure when that happens. I am eagerly looking for that to happen. because otherwise, I'm never, if somebody writes a big one-volume history of the Vietnam War or Wellington's Peninsula Campaign, there's no chance that I'm going to get to review that for the Vineyard Gazette. And I would like to. I love this paper. Unless the author has a house on the vineyard and lives there, in which case I will, even though the book has nothing at all to do with the vineyard. So I keep an eye out for those. But this is also available for subscription. And once again, if you're subscribing, you'll get a really fun paper. And there is more readability in the Vineyard Gazette than there is in the Bedford Times Press because of the columns in the back. The nature columns in the back are wonderful. The Vineyard Gardener it will mention, of course, places on Main Street and whatnot, but it is about gardening. The birds are about birds, seasonal and otherwise. So there is stuff to read. But so it's not just the Vineyard Bookshelf, which I would very much like to be a regular feature. It's not. Right now it's whatever books are coming out. I'd certainly like that not to be true. But if you take it into your mind to subscribe to the Vineyard Gazette because of me, feel free to let my editor know that that's the reason. That never hurts. But then I mentioned the two books. One of them was not in a package, and that's because I had the bean out and we went to a little free library. Those little free libraries that dot so many places all over the world. We came across one. Actually, I've had good luck. We came across one the other day, and I found this, a history of the British Southern campaign in the American Revolution. So this is a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of battles and maneuvers that I know quite well, but I've never read this book. I found that the other day in a little free library that the Bean and I had never seen before. And then yesterday, we came across another one that we'd never been to before, and I found this, a UK trade paperback of Whitethorne Woods by Maeve Binchy. Which is about the number one specter that haunts all Irish people, which is gentrification. Gentrification is the modern equivalent of the specter that used to haunt all Irish people, which was eviction. We live in a largely tenant-friendly world now, so the Irish don't fear eviction as much as they want. Once upon a time, it was completely capricious. You could be evicted for anything at any time. So now it's gentrification, which is kind of the legal eviction, and that I believe that happens in this book. I don't think I've ever read this book. I think this is a Maeve Binchy novel that I've never read, and it's in these nice, slightly stiff UK trade paperbacks that I really, really enjoy. What have we got here? Everything is changing in Rossmore. No longer a sleepy Irish town. Nowadays, it's a prosperous place, so busy that a new bypass has been proposed. The people of Rossmore are divided, particularly since the road will go right through the Whitethorne Woods and the well dedicated to St. Anne, a well thought by some to have near spiritual properties, and by others dismissed as a superstition. No one is more concerned than the honest and well-meaning curate, Father Brian Flynn, who has no idea which faction to support. Surely Nettie Nolan's family should take the compensation being offered for their land? But wasn't Nettie's mother given a cure at the well many years ago? And what about the childless London woman who came to Whitethorne Woods begging the saint for help, with the most unexpected consequences? That plot doesn't sound familiar to me. I don't remember ever seeing this in an American edition, so I'll gobble it right up. So it was 2 books from Little Free Libraries. Don't expect that luck to last. But then we also have a package that was delivered late last night in the rain, so it counts as Sunday mail. What have we got here? It's a finished copy of something. Oh, okay. All right. We've already seen this. This is a finished copy of a book that we've already seen. It's an author who's not ever really done it for me, but I'm always willing to give it a try. This is The Last Days of Roger Federer and Other Writings by Jeff Dyer. And I believe this is another example where of the thing we've mentioned on this channel many times, where it's just a collection of the author's nonfiction work. That's all. It's not meant to be thematic in any way. The author is just taking briefs wherever he could get them and then collects them. Let's see here. FSG is excited to announce the publication of Jeff Dyer's The Last Days of Roger Federer, the most ambitious and wide-ranging book in a decade from the celebrated and influential author of But Beautiful, Out of Sheer Rage, and Yoga for People Who Can't Be Bothered to Do It. Title aside, The Last Days of Roger Federer is not strictly a tennis book, or rather is about tennis, but only as much as it's about music, painting, writing, artistic inspiration, walking out of movies, stealing shampoo from hotels. See what I mean? So this is a collection of occasional writings that maybe some attempt is being made to gussy it up to say that it has some sort of pre-intended theme, but it most certainly does not. Parts of this book appeared first in The Guardian, The Observer, The Spectator, Freeman's, and the New York Review of Books website. So some of these things I may have read already, but I haven't got to this. This is an April release. This is an April finished copy. Are you going to tell me when? Oh, no, this is early May. This is May the 3rd. This comes out. So I can get rid of my my advance copy and just deal with this one. So there you go. That is a little Sunday mail, a little Sabbath mail on this Easter Sunday, this beautiful, beautiful Easter Sunday. There was a slight threat of rain earlier this morning today, and it went away without ever landing a drop. So I've just got a beautiful sunny day, a little bit cool, to contemplate the glory of Easter. So we have The Last Days of Roger Federer, finished copy. We have Whitethorne Woods by Maeve Binchy in a UK trade paperback. I guess we can include this thing as well. Southern Gambit. This is by Stanley Carpenter, about the British in the American South, in the Southern theater of the American Revolution. And then we have 2 periodicals, the Vineyard Gazette and the Bedford Times Press, the 2 periodicals that are close to my heart. So there you go. That is the mail for a Sunday. I'm gonna wrap this up for now and see what I need to get done. I still have the weight of Atlas on my shoulders as far as deadlines go, but I am not overwrought. I am capable of marvels. I believe that I can do these deadlines well in time and pleasing everyone. So we shall see. In fact, I might even do a little. I mentioned sprezzatura the other day. I might even add a little extra at the end, just to prove that although I can't get up a flight of stairs, when I'm on the fainting couch, I can still get the job done. We shall see. I will wrap this up for now, though, and I will see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.